This video is brought to you by procrastination as well as a dying battery, so fuck me, this is probably not gonna work out. So, I need to read 24 books in December in order to hit my Goodreads goal. I don't think I have hit double digits at all this year. I might have done like January, February, I don't know. But honestly, anything over like 6 books seems pretty unreasonable to me, so naturally we're going for 24 this month because I am competitive as fuck. I refuse to lose and I refuse to lower my goal, so it's gonna happen. It's fine, it's day one, we've got this. It's basically an advent calendar. I just have to read a book a day till Christmas and I can have the last week off. I do have like a selection of like 25 books, but it's probably gonna change, but I needed content, so I thought I'm just gonna show you the ones that are mainly on my radar. And yeah. So I'm gonna start with the books that I've already spoken about in this week's vlog. I'm doing weekly vlogs to try and hold myself accountable for reading, and I told you what books I was hoping to read this week, so I'm going to show you those because I haven't read them yet and they will count. So I'm currently reading The Boy Who Steals Houses by C.G. Drews. This is an Own Voices autism book. I started reading it with Neen, who's also autistic. It's interesting because the main character, apparently the main character is undiagnosed autistic, but the autistic character in this is the brother, and it doesn't really read like an Own Voices. Like, compared to other Own Voices I've read, it does read somewhat stereotyped, and I don't know, it's weird. Like, I hate when I find Own Voices, like, it's Own Voices, so obviously you know it's accurate representation, but then at the same time, people do have internalized, like, issues. So people can have internalized ableism, internalized fat phobia, all this sort of stuff. So, like, I don't know, but that aside, like, it's not awful rep, I will give it that. I'm just questioning the idea to do your main character as undiagnosed and the actual autistic character being the sibling, who's not really in this book a lot. Anyway, the actual plot, it's enjoyable. I'm getting through it. We're gonna have this read. No, I was gonna say today, that's not true, I'm buddy reading it. We're only doing 50 pages a day, so by the end of this week. I'm also reading The Vanishing Stair. I have the dust jacket, hold on. This is The Sequel to Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I'm sure you all know this. I don't even need to like tell you about it. I'm only at like literally chapter 1, like I've read like the prologue. I've kind of forgotten what happened in Truly Devious, but luckily this is one of those ones that kind of like rehashes, so I'm sort of with it. And I don't think it really matters because I think this book's gonna follow more, because the whole point of Truly Devious is this girl Stevie goes to Elling Academy to like try and solve the mystery of something that happened there in like the 30s. But then there was another mystery that happened, whereas I think this one's gonna focus on that. I don't know, we'll find out. I'm also in the middle of Stim, which is an autism anthology. This is one that I'm just kind of reading bits and pieces. I don't know why I'm putting the cover up, it's so pale you can't see it. But this is just one that I'm reading a few stories here and there. I do need to put more effort into it, otherwise I'm going to have to read it all in one go towards the end of the month, and that's not what I want to do, but we love our autism rep. Also on the books for this week is Gloom Town by Ronald L. Smith, Codename Verity by Elizabeth Vine, and Unboxed by Non Pratt. This one picked obviously because it is short, and it's also a Barrington Stoke book, which means it's meant to be easier to read because it's written for dyslexic and reluctant readers. This categorically should not be on the list because it's so big. But between November and February is when I read historical fiction, and I haven't read any historical fiction yet this year, so I don't know, like I'm in the mood for it, so it shouldn't matter how long it is. I mean, it does kind of matter because it does mean it'll take longer, but anyway. And Gloom Town is a middle grade sort of mystery, and I really want to read it. There's a lot of books like this and like Codename Verity that like I could have picked up, but I'm trying to be cautious because like I don't want to add like the entire sacrosanct series and then not be able to finish them because they're big books, although these are on my radar to pick up if I have the chance because I'm desperate. Then I have my little Penguin classics. I have a few more of these on the way. Obviously they're very short. They do have fairly small text, but they're small, they should be quick. A few of these are actually poetry, so I've I just want to get to them. Oh fuck, they're on the floor now. Then I have the only 2 graphic novels that I own and haven't read, which is this one, Summer, and the Best We Could Do. Obviously these are fucking chunky graphic novels, but they are still graphic novels, so I mean they should only really take about this much of a normal book time. Does that make sense? Probably not. I've also got the East Lothian Folktales for Children by Tim Porteous, which is basically an anthology of folktales from my county. I've had this for quite a while, but I want to read more like folktales and fairy tales, and what better than the ones from like my actual area. So this should be short, quick, sweet. I don't know how many stories there are. 18. There's 18 short stories. There's one called The Farting Ogress Who Made North Berwick Law. There you go. And then I have all my novels in verse that I currently own. In Paris with You, Blood, Water, Paint, Here Is the Beehive, and the one that I'm probably most excited about is The Girl and the Goddess by Nikita Gill. I love a novel in verse. I do have a few more on the way, so obviously those will probably end up getting read as well, but like I just wanted to get this video done. Especially because some of the books that I've ordered, like some of the Penguin little ones, like might arrive on the 22nd of January, and I'm like, helpful. They'll go towards my 2021 goal. Novels in verse are obviously going to be very helpful. If anyone has any recommendations aside from like the obvious, like Elizabeth Acevedo, Sarah Crossan, like Jason Reynolds, like if you know of other novels in verse, send them my way, because I need more just in general, because I love them, but then also like need to read 25 books this month. Oh my god, I'm dropping everything. And my final pile is mostly just short books, as well as a couple middle grades that I just want to get to despite them being of normal length. I like how I said after like Gloom Town that I could have easily included a bunch of like normal length middle grade books and YA that I want to read, but didn't because they're too long, and then I'm now going to show you exactly that. So first of all, we have the entire Nowhere Emporium trilogy. I'm currently rereading this on audio. I have like an hour left, and then I'm going to get into the rest of the series, but these are just a really fun middle grade, and I love them. Well, I say I love them, I've only read the first one, but I'm excited to get to them. I also have Rumble Star by Abby Elphinston. I adored Abby Elphinston's Dream Snatcher trilogy, and it is an absolute sin that I haven't got into this yet because her stuff is just chef's kiss. So fun, so fast read. So fast read. I don't English. Her books are just so fun, and they've always got a really nice map, and I'm just in the mood for a good middle grade. So another middle grade I have is Snow Globe by Amy Wilson. This is a very old proof, well, 2-year-old proof, which apparently I started. Good to know. But it seems very Christmassy, and I thought I may as well have at least one Christmas read. So, don't know what it's about. Snow globes. Basically. Next I have Heroes by Robert Cormier. This is one of the like Penguin classic-y things. Hold on, I have another one here that this might tell me. The Originals, that's what they're called. This one's thicker, so it's not on the list. But this is a very short novella. It's like 130 pages. It was read for someone's school, but they seem to have only highlighted the first like 3 pages and then gave up, so we love that. So I don't really know what on earth this is about. Something about a war. It's short. I've put Hidden by Helen Frost on my list to read at the end of this year. It's about an accidental kidnapping, and I love books that deal with like kidnapping, cults, dark shit. But this is also a novel in verse. Now, you're really not seeing very much, but like it's got quite a lot of text compared to other novels in verse. Like some of them are very much it just looks like prose, but it's short again, and why not? Another short book that I have on my list is The Guest Cat by Takashi Harade. I looked this up before and I've forgotten. Now, Translate-a-thon I am sure is happening in December, so I need to double check what the prompts are, but I know that this will fit for like a language you would like to learn and stuff. Like, I have a few Japanese and French translated books, so I'm hoping this will fit for at least one of the prompts in that. I mean, it will because it's translated. So that's kind of why I popped it in here as well, the fact that it's short, because I wanted to keep translate-a-thon in my head, even though I'm definitely probably gonna have to. Actually, this is translated, and I think it's translated from French. So there we go, fucking 2 translated books. I'm on it. I promise I will do an actual translate-a-thon TBR. I just definitely forgot about it until I saw this book and was like, oh yeah, so that's why it was on this list. But I think this involves a cat possibly dying, and I'm not quite prepared for it, but I've heard so many good things about it, and I want to read it. Then I have She Must Be Mad by Charlie Cox. I've had this for so long. It's poetry, it's prose, it's I don't even know. It's short. Do you see a theme? I've also got The Incorrible Children of Ashton Place and The Mysterious Howling by Mary Rose Wood on my TBR. It is a middle grade, it's short, and I know a lot of people have devoured this entire series. I think Jean from Bookish Thoughts has devoured the entire series this year, and I believe she's quite like me in that she doesn't tend to do that with series. So I'm hoping this is great, and then I'll go and buy the other books, and then I'll have like, I think there's 4, 5 books out? There's 3 to 5 books out, so that'll bump up my goal. I don't even know what I'm talking about. And then I have Gangster School by Kate Wiseman. This is a middle grade. I think it was pitched to me at Yalc as like Harry Potter but villains, and we always want a replacement for JK's trash. So it's short and it's a middle grade, and it should just be fun. So it's on the list. And the final book I have on my list is categorically a cheat. It's a reread, The Fox and the Star by Coralie Bickford Smith. I read this on Christmas every year. I got my tattoo that you can barely see from the light. It's a illustrated book. I don't want to call it a picture book because it's so much more than that, and there's barely any text, and honestly I could just read this 25 times if I had to. So it's very likely I'm going to read this and Coralie's 2 other books to bump up my my goal. I do have a few books like that I could use, but I say a few. I have those 3, and I also have You Will Be Found, which is just the lyrics to the song from Dear Evan Hansen. So, you know, I've got some backups, but that is the plan. I do have a lot of other short books and a lot of other not so short books, like middle grades, that I would like to read, but that's just, I feel like I found having the weekly TBR has helped me, so I'm pushing the boat out with this monthly TBR just to see if it does encourage me to read them. As I say, I have 10 books on the way from Amazon, sorry. So I'm hoping that between these 25 and those 10 and whatever else is on my bookshelves, that I will just fly through it. That is it for this video. This is probably the quickest video I've ever filmed. It's going to be under 15 minutes. Who's impressed? I am. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, comment down below, share all your quick reads, and I'll see you in my next video.